Alright, hey everyone, welcome back to the basement. I am the man in the basement. Welcome to the basement. I know it's been a couple days. I forgot to do this. Episode 14 maybe? Yeah. So you're in the basement. I appreciate all your listenership. Thanks for being back. Lots going on in the world. It's been 1,000 degrees out here in Southern California. But, yeah, I haven't forgotten about you, and I appreciate you. And here we are. We have you notice the background. This is another show I do with my buddy Luke Kang. Shout out Luke Kang. He's my brother. Age Gap Podcast. If you haven't, check it out. It's a great show. We cover all topics. It's hilarious. Shout out Luke Kang, Donnie Narco, all those guys. So, yeah. We have a very interesting topic today. I've gotten a couple emails from some listeners. May, in particular, she wants to cover the topic of evil in society. Evil in society. And you know, this show, other than other shows out there, like I take it legit. I listen to everything. Like I said, like I might run for Congress or something. So I need your support. But let's get May on the line right now. Bear with me. I'm a one-man show. Here we go. So, we're reaching out to May. She's going to be a caller here. May, is that you?
Hi.
Hey, you're on the Man in the Basement. I just did an intro. We're talking about evil in society. And May, I want to apologize to you. Real quick, the last time you were on the show, the camera was out of focus. It was all messed up. The episode, you did a great job, but I want you to know we're in focus now, and your volume is fully turned up. Everyone should be able to hear you. And the topic of today, May, responding to your email is evil in society, evil people.
Lots of that going on right now.
Lots of it, tons of it. Can you take, like, in your experience, if you can speak up if you can too, because I'll move the can. Well, no, it's fine. What's bothering you most right now?
How evil is cool and good is bad. God is, like, oh yeah, are you religious? Oh no, I'm not religious. Like, being religious is a bad thing now, these days.
Yes. Society dictate. I mean, the Bible tells us Satan runs this earth. This is Satan's earth. But being out here in Southern California, we see it more often than not. What triggers you most? What bothers you most? I hate that word trigger, by the way, but anyway.
Well, it bothers me that in elementary school they're having after-school Satan club, and they're targeting kids. And if you're an adult, fine, you worship whatever whoever you want. But to go into the elementary schools and have a Satan club, and then have parents not be happy about it, and still, be there because supposedly it's the religion. What's that law? The right of religion, or what is that? The right to worship whoever you want. That. Yeah,
freedom of religion.
Yeah. That.
I think that's disgusting. I agree with you 100%. Why can't? First of all, my first rule, May, is leave the kids alone. Let parents parent their children. I don't like the schools involved. We kind of talked about this a couple episodes ago. I don't like the schools involving themselves in children. Just teach the basics. Science, math, English, history. There you go. Boom. Done.
Right.
When you start dabbling in the demonic arts too. I mean, I don't know how old you are. You sound very young. But I grew up in like the 80s. And like we called it satanic panic. Do you remember this term?
Satanic walking?
Satanic Panic.
No, I've never heard of that.
It was the hard rock music, Dungeons and Dragons, movies, TV shows. It was like the rebel thing to do, you know? And kids had pentagrams on their jackets, you know, blah, blah, blah. But it was never taught. It was never instructed to kids. No one's, I mean, it was like a fringe thing, and it was a fad. It eventually went away, you know. Every kid had an Alice Cooper album or something at some point, you know. But back to the topic, it's evil. This society has just become demonic, and you see it as we get older. You know, like I said, I have no children of my own, and I'm fortunate I don't, because I'd be in a fight every day of my life. They always go for the children. Do you notice this?
Because they want to change the world and make it evil, and they're smart to go after the children, because they're going to be the next, you know, ones that are going to be ruling the world. Right.
And they want this to be a hellish place for some reason.
I don't know why it is that this is happening. Or is it that everyone is just like, evil has taken over their mind? Or why is it that this is all happening now?
Man, you have a great question. The man in the basement. Unfortunately, I don't have all the answers, but I think it's by design, May. I'd say this was all planned years and years and years ago, and then they just sprung the trap. It all started with the COVID lockdown. Think of it now. Kids that are 19 years old now, driving cars, destroying our highways, doing these, what are they called, street takeovers and all this stuff.
Yeah.
In legality, they're 19 years old.
Yeah.
Mentally, they're about 15 or 14 even. They were taught on Zoom by lazy teachers for about 3 years. They did not develop mentally. They do not look at these smash and grab robberies.
It's all young kids.
It's young kids. It's demonic, and nobody is like. All right, I don't know where you grew up, May, but where I grew up, when you made a mistake, you got your ass kicked. Yeah, you know, you and I, we have a lot in common, young lady. These kids are not getting their ass kicked.
They do. They're gonna call the police, and then the police comes take the parents away, or take, you know, the parents get arrested, and the kids, they take the kids away. But the kids seem to not care, and they call the police, and they get their parents in trouble, and they seem like, it's like that's always on the first thing they say is, "You're gonna hit me? Go ahead. I'm gonna call the police."
And you know what's sick, May? The police have been so sissified that, you know, and I did an episode on the police, and I have all the respect for the police. I have a couple of LAPD friends. My brother is LAPD. I love the kid. I worry about him all the time. And he tells me, he's like, they don't want us to. All right, I did an episode. I was 18 or 19 years old, and I was jumping on a sign, like, you know, like some stupid sign outside like a restaurant. It was this big festival. A cop batoned the hell out of me. I mean, I got beat, and there was no report, there was no body cam, there was no, you know, I just took it on the chin. I was like, yep, I'm stupid, I got baton. End of story. I hate when these kids are acting up, and they all have like cell phone cameras, and they're posting on Instagram, and, you know, there's no repercussion. I mean,
and, you know, what if one of the kids were black? Then, oh hell, then that's like, you know, another thing. Like if they're white, okay, you know.
Oh, you can beat a white kid. That's not a problem.
No, you know, you're going to be, the cops are going to be like fired or, thrown in jail. Everything. And if it does happen to a white kid, they don't report about it. They don't even care. Just show it in the media. But if it's a black kid, then another story.
Well, yeah, I'm probably going to get this show canceled in a second, but you're 100% right. And I was embarrassed. That's the other thing, too. There was a shame to it. Like, yes, I was stupid. Yes, I got beat. Yes, now there's no shame. And the other thing, too, and we talked about this, and this pissed me off. This goes back. I mean, it's still going on. But, like the Asian women getting beat. Why are those people still on the street? There's clear footage of who did it. The Asian community, what the Asian community did was stupid. They started their own BLM, and it was a failure.
You hardly even heard about it.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It was a failure. They tried to do the AAPI, Asian American Pacific Island. They tried to do their own movement. Mm-hmm. And it just wasn't, nobody took to it. No,
why?
Why is that?
Because we weren't in the group.
Right. I mean, we laugh about it, but I'm telling you, if you're Asian, if you're a woman, get yourself a crazy Irish buddy. That's all you need. You'll be okay. But if you jump in with these groups and these alphabet, acronym organizations,
alphabet mafia.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
You're still going to get beat up. But if you walk around with a crazy looking Irish guy or a white guy, you might stand a chance.
I think that the reason why the government is doing the libtards, can I not?
No, that's fine, it's fine. Keep going.
Or doing this to the cops is because their plan is to have all the cops gone, okay? Either fired, put in jail, or just quit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when there's no more cops, and plus they want to defund them, so there's like another reason why, we have like low recruitment right now, is because they want to make their own police army.
Yes.
Their own police army that they can control, that they can say do this and do that. So this way, there won't be any more police person. It'll be their own type of police military.
May, you are 100% accurate, and I want to go off on that. I want to pull that thread a little bit. If you engage in any government like TSA or customs, I don't know if you've ever traveled abroad recently. You go through TSA, you go through customs. They're all autistic. They're hiring the dumbest people possible. Like hardworking cops who studied and took tests, went to university for criminology or whatever. They're all being replaced by autistic, brainwashed, check cashing, autistic people.
Because they're easily to be controlled, and they have no right and wrong. They just okay, I do what you tell me to do.
I do. You say I do. You say I do. Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then if you pay me lots of money and you want me to do something I really don't want to do, but let's see how much it is, and I'll do it anyway.
They will sell their soul for $45,000 a year.
That's what's happening right now.
Yes. And what you're going to see, May, and you heard it her first on The Man in the Basement with May, man, you should be my co-host. But these illegal immigrants, and I call them illegal aliens, they're illegal.
Right.
They're going to give them government jobs. I swear to God, the next time you take a flight...
Yeah, I think so. I think so too.
They're going to make them all TSA. They're going to make them all customs. And, I tell you what, man, the Man in the Basement, he went through court not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a heterosexual white man. The judge absolutely hated me. Hated me. Even because I was the people I was taking trial. I can't talk about it too much on the show, but look, in comparison, and this is a vague, veiled comparison. Look what they did to Trump. You know, now I was the what's it called, the plaintiff. You know, I got the money eventually, but wow, did I have to jump through hoops? The slander, the things they said about me, it was incredible. And there was no proof. They can do stuff to you without any proof. And in our judicial system, it used to be you had to present the burden of proof. Mm-hmm. There's no such thing anymore.
No, not for non-Democrats.
Like, I am petrified of American women, and not in the sense that I don't like American women, but these liberal women, they can make up anything about you. The man in the basement, he triggered me. It doesn't matter. There's no justice anymore. It's crazy.
It's sad.
And look at the education system. Sometimes the man in the basement, he volunteers, he helps out kids at stuff like that. I look at their homework, I look at their assignments. It's all political, BLM, liberal left, brainwashing, indoctrinating. I'm like, this is homework? I was like, when I was your age, I was reading William Shakespeare.
They're trying to take Shakespeare out. I'm
not surprised. I'm not. Why? Because he's a racist or he's a bigot or.
They don't think it's necessary. Just like how they took out cursive. So no more cursive. They're not taking cursive, and they're going to take out Shakespeare.
These people. See, the thing with the liberal, and this is what nobody really understands. You can't give them anything, because. It's not like a baby that's crying, you put the pacifier in the mouth. They keep crying. They don't stop. It's not enough that we're like, okay, homosexuality, that's a thing. Yeah, sure, great, all right. Oh no, we're just going to keep going, and now we're into trans and blah, 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 and this, and we have 2,000 genders, and, we're going against biology. Listen, let me tell you a story, real quick, biology lesson, May. And I'm sure you're on the same page. And this is for all my listeners out there, all my haters, and I'm sure there's plenty of them. A man has an XY chromosome. A woman has an XX chromosome. End of science lesson today.
Right.
You think that's going to get some letters? You think that's going to stir some pots? You think that's going to turn some heads? A penis goes into a vagina. I like what more do you need? It's big, and they always say, May, they're always like, follow the science. Respect the science. Yeah, science tells me a penis goes in a vagina, a man to a woman. That's it.
So they're trying to change the science.
Yeah. A man can get pregnant. Newsflash, no he can't. No, your husband cannot get pregnant. I'm sorry. It's just evil. Like, back to topic. It's evil. This is demonic. If you look at pictures of Lucifer, as above, now below, as below, whatever, he has breasts and a penis. And that goes back to the biblical times. Yeah, I mean, this is a crazy episode. I love it because I've been preaching this for a long time. But transgender goes back to the devil. I'm sorry. And I don't know. If you want to take that, take it. But it's all in the Bible, man. It's all there.
Do you know who Paul Harvey is?
Paul, it sounds familiar. Explain.
Well, he has hit this thing, and I think when was it that he said this?
Oh, see, if I was the devil, this is what I'd do. That guy.
You're breaking up.
Oh, Is he the guy on the radio who said, if I was the devil, this is what I'd do?
And he gave the warning in 1965 saying that you were the devil, he would engulf the whole world in darkness but first he buy a third of his real estate, and then he would, what else did he say? He would go to the churches and begin campaigning with whispers, say, whisper to Eve, you should do whatever you want.
Yes.
And he would say that the Bible's a myth.
Yes.
And then he would say that man created God instead of the other way around. And then he said that he would also educate authors to make lyric literature exciting so that everything else would be dull and uninteresting. And then he would go to TV to make dirty movies and vice versa, and then give narcotics to whom he could, and sell alcohol to ladies and gentlemen in distinction, and then get tranquilize the rest with pills. And then he would go to the families, make the families go to war with themselves, and then the churches at war with themselves, and then the nations at war with themselves. And that, what else did he say? He promised, and then he would mesmerize the media and fanning the flames. He would encourage schools to refine young intellects but neglect to discipline emotions. Just let those run wild until before you knew it, that drug-sniffing dogs and metal detectors at every schoolhouse door they would have it. And then just all this stuff, like everything he said is actually happening right now. Like, it's word for word, every single thing he said is happening.
Yes. I know you can't see the visual, but I was literally giving you a air applause because that guy Paul Harvey that you just quoted, 100%. We need more people out there like you, May. Yeah, the other thing too is like pornography. It's very bad, and it's like one of those things that sneaks up on you. Look, I'm not a saint. The man in the basement. I live in a basement. I get lonely sometimes, but I know what you're saying. It's not good.
He also said, like, he would. Okay, so you were just saying about pornography. He would say that he also said he would promote pornography and evict God from the courthouse, like in the schoolhouse, like they have already. And then he would make churches worship him, the devil. And then he would say that he would substitute psychology for religion and defy science. He would lure the priests and pastors into misusing boys and girls and the church money, like that's already happening. And then he would also make the symbols of the Easter egg, the symbol of he would make the symbols of Easter and egg and the symbol of Christmas a bottle. I don't understand that one.
Alcohol, maybe alcohol.
Oh. Right.
Why did I know that right away? But anyway.
And then he would convince the young that marriage is old-fashioned and swinging is more fun.
Yes.
Right? People don't want to get married anymore. They want to be swingers, or like what do they call it when you want like two boyfriends and two girlfriends, like pansexual? Is that what it's called? Or
bisexual, pansexual, trisexual.
3 people in a relationship instead of 2. What is that called?
Polygamous?
No, polygamous is like a man who marries like lots of wives. It's just like it's a 3-person relationship.
Oh, menage a trois or?
No, that's like having sex, like a menage.
Yeah, okay, I'll think of it.
I forgot. There's a name for it.
Yeah, multiple partners. Yes.
But it's just like everything. And they want to make everything good bad and everything bad cool.
Yes. We all went through a phase, I was never bad. I never did hard drugs. I never did anything like cheating or any of that stuff. But, you've seen old photos of me. I was a Abercrombie and Fitch model. I was a pretty hot shot. And I was living in New York City. And, I was out till like 5, 6 in the morning sometimes. But then you realize, you step back and you look at the company around you, and you're just like, I don't want to be in this group anymore. It's just like, this isn't cool. Same thing with like gangs. Like you get to a certain age and you're like, this isn't fun. This isn't right. I don't like doing this.
You grow up.
Yeah, you grow up. And unfortunately, the people running this government, you look at this idiot, loser, and if he wants to come on the show, if he wants to fight me, Gavin Newsom, I wouldn't mind fighting him. I have my money on myself because I'm a mean dog in the alley. You know what I mean? May, I know you never met me, but my bark is as good as my bite. And you got this idiot, Gavin Useless, and you know, I don't even know why I'm in California anymore. I mean, I make a little money, that's about it. But God's sakes, did he destroy and villainize and just satanic? Look at his, what is that, his mother or his aunt, Nancy Pelosi? She's
His aunt, yeah.
Ugh, she's worthless. And satanic, clearly satanic. And there's a trend amongst these Satanists. They always claim to be Catholic. Did you ever notice this?
They claim to be what?
Catholic, the religion, Catholic, Catholicism.
They claim to be Catholic?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Biden claims to be Catholic, Pelosi.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
And just recently, they all went over to meet the Pope. And, you know, when I was a kid, I grew up Catholic, hardcore Catholic. You know, we worshiped the Pope. We worshiped, you know, everything. And it was Whoopi Goldberg, Stephen Colbert, Conan, all the hardcore leftists went to meet the Pope. I was
They
like,
went to the Pope too. The Pope is along with them now too.
he's the worst. He's the worst. He's running the show. I mean, I'm gonna have if I get killed during this broadcast, you know who did it.
Well, don't give out my information either.
No, you're completely protected. Unfortunately, I've been on the radar for quite some time, but I have to say something, man. Like, I can't let good citizens like you suffer in silence. You're a mother. You're doing the best you can. You're working hard, and you know, every day is a fight. You're in a fight every day of your life. And unfortunately, there's only one of me to go around. But hopefully with this show, it hits a few eardrums and some people wake up. You know?
We need to start the resistance.
I'm at the tip of the spear. I am the resistance right now.
We need to recruit.
I've lost friends. I used to be very popular, man. I used to have a lot of friends. I was the coolest guy on the block. I was hot shot, you know, TV star, all this shit. All those people abandoned me. I'm trying to get a job with Angel Studios right now. That's what I'm like. I will work for free. I don't care. You know.
Angel Studios.
They did the one on like a year or so ago about human trafficking. The Sound of Freedom, that one.
You know what? I actually, that guy is my coworker's brother-in-law.
Jim Caviezel?
No, the main character. I forgot his name.
Jim Caviezel.
No, but the main character. No,
Oh, the real life guy.
Yeah, the real life guy.
Oh, okay, I don't know his name, but yeah.
And you know, I had a client that was telling me how that movie was all QAnon stuff. And I'm like, of course I can't argue with the client, right? So then I'm like, oh, okay. But QAnon wasn't even out yet when this movie was being made.
That movie was made like 6 or 7 years ago. And nobody picked it up. That's the crazy thing.
At the theater.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. And then remember the conspiracy, like theaters would shut down or they'd lose the AC or tickets were canceled. Like, man, take it from me, May. I've been in this industry. I've seen the dirty hands, the dirty faces. Nothing will surprise you. Nothing will surprise you. Look at me now. I'm in a basement shooting a show. This is the only work I can get. But I don't care. I own my basement. I own this camera. I own this studio. But But yeah, evil is all around us, May, and it's. I'm so glad to hear there's people like you still. I'm not alone. I really thought I was alone.
There's a lot of people like me. They're just afraid to speak up.
Oh, like I said, I might get a bang at the door at any moment. You know, I'm putting my neck in a noose here, and I don't care. I've lived many years. I've done a lot of stuff. I just want to do what's right, and I wish to God I could like help more people like you. And
you need to open a school like you said you wanted to.
I know.
You need to ask for donation.
Can you imagine the
Open a what do you call it? A non-profit school for the public kids. I mean, like a public school.
I just want to teach kids, like, you know, the right thing in morality, and I want parents to understand that there's an alternative to this liberal school union crap. Where
You know what you should do? You know how like back in the days they have like the little church house school?
Yeah.
Like in the countryside it's like a triangle little room and they have like the desk and like, 10 or 20 kids in it. That's what you should do. You should just like have a little area and just have 10 or 20 kids and just teach them and see if that gets bigger and bigger and then you can just like make and see how that goes.
I agree with you 100%. You know, an American flag and a picture of Jesus on the wall. And every morning you do morning prayer and you pledge allegiance.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Like, I don't know how deep into how much skin in the religious game you are, but if you ever mention Jesus to a liberal, they like freak out.
I know.
Can you imagine citing the Pledge of Allegiance? They would probably burst into flames.
Why are you so angry at Jesus? Why are they so angry? I don't understand. Like, if they can have their kids worship the devil, so let other kids worship God. Like, why do they care so much about other people? Like, leave the other people alone. You do your thing, with your kids and your family and your friends, and then the other people who don't agree with you, why do they have to like attack us?
Because they're demonic. I honestly believe they're possessed. And if you just start saying like, oh, I believe in Jesus Christ, they panic, they flip out, they insult you, they tear you down, they call you a Nazi, they call you a racist. You could be an Asian woman who believes in Jesus Christ, and they'll call you a Nazi. And it's like, yeah, I have nothing to do at all. Or they'll call you a white supremacist if you're an Asian woman that believes in Jesus. It's beyond the point of no return. And May, I don't think we're getting them back. That's why I'm doing this show. And that's why I have a lot of anger. I'm like, well, somebody wrote me, they're like, you sound so angry. Like, and if you meet me, if you hang out with me, I'm not an angry person.
Were they talking crap when they said that, or were they just making an observation?
I think it was an observation.
Okay.
Most of the time, people give me like a thumbs up or a like, or a nice comment or something. But yeah, once in a while I get an email, people are like, oh, you sound like a white supremacist or something.
Really?
Yeah, it's happened.
Yeah, I mean that's what they go to whenever they get upset. It's always just calling names and calling people names and saying that they're like a white supremacist or homophobe or whatever stuff they always accuse people of.
It's like the schoolyard analogy that I use sometimes. We used to play this game, The Dozens. Like, you make fun of a kid, he makes fun of you, blah, blah, blah. It was all a good time. And then when the kid had nothing left, nothing left, he would do the your mother joke.
Yeah.
Your mother, it's like, oh, like, and everybody would boo him. Like, oh, man, that's terrible. You can't go to the mother joke.
Mm-hmm.
But the liberals go right to the Nazi white supremacist thing. They have nothing. They're empty. They have no bullets in the chamber. So yeah, they always pull the, you're a homophobe. Oh, okay. Yeah. Even though I worked in New York City as a model around thousands of homosexuals. Yeah, okay. I'm a homophobe. Yeah, you got me. Yep, nailed me. Idiots.
They don't care.
No, and the other thing too is they're not very intelligent. They're not very intelligent. Like, if you watch this show, I'm sure I'm going to get hate. People be like, oh, this guy, blah, 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 speaking points. They might even, they better not, but they might even come after you. But they love to say, like, their education. I went to Cornell. I went to Harvard. I went to Columbia. It's like, these schools are a joke. What'd you major in? Like, women in music from the 1800s? Yeah.
And these days, if you're, I'm sorry to say this, but these days, if you are, because of the DEI stuff, I don't even really trust the people that are supposed to be in that kind of role or leadership, like Supreme Court justices. Like, did you see this thing? One of the justices, I forgot where, she was black and she was like, she got arrested. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, for sure.
And, like, she's a judge.
Yeah, seriously.
Ghetto, like cussing at cops, and she looked like she was like someone from the hood, and then they're like, oh, this is a judge.
How do you get that job?
DEI.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this might sound racist. All my doctors and dentists are Asian. I don't mess with anyone else. Yeah.
Like the Southwest was doing a major DEI hiring, and did you know that because, this is just my opinion, this is not a fact, okay, but all these plane crashes and doors flying off in midair and an engine bursting and all this stuff, I wonder why. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, these things have happened before when you were hiring people who were legitimately, qualified. These things did not happen. Of course, planes crash, things like that happen, but like the door flying off, like, what? Because it was missing screws or something like that?
Because they took the janitor and made him a pilot. They took the guy away from what he would. May, I tell you what, I was having this conversation with a buddy. You nailed it on the head. I don't want the person that looks the part or the person right now. I want the most qualified person. Yeah. I don't care. Maybe they're an Indian. Maybe they are black. Maybe they are Hispanic. I don't care. That's fine. But for God's sakes, pass the test before you give them the job.
And you know what? I have a little short story to tell you. So when I was getting a divorce, we were looking for a mediator to do the divorce for us, and we interviewed different people, and the person I hired that I actually picked was a black man. And you know why? The reason is because at the time I felt like, because of course, I understand, the story, you hear stories about how, like, the white man always is paid, the women, what do you call it? They pick the white man over the woman or the black and brown.
Wow, that is urban mythology. Urban
The
mythology.
man made it to where, the high position. He must be good because he had to go through all of that crap to get to where he's at. So that's why I picked him. I picked him because he was a black man, okay? And now I'm totally opposite of that. I wouldn't pick a black, for example, a mediator or whatever, because I would think in my brain, oh, he just got hired because of the DEI thing. I'm not going to pick him. I'm going to research and pick someone that I really feel like is qualified. But back then, I picked up, I hope you're understanding how you follow. I hope you're following me. I picked him because I knew that he was going to be the best man for the job. Because he was black, I knew he worked hard for that position. Does that make sense?
I'm following.
Yeah, but they turn things around. Like now, when I see a black person in a higher position or role, I know this sounds terrible.
No, I get it. It backfired.
You're a DEI hire.
Yeah. See, it works against them. I don't mean black people. I don't mean minorities or whatever. But look at recently. Like I know exactly what you're saying. It backfired. The DEI system backfired. Because now, if you are a qualified black person, now if you did the work, you did everything. Now people look at you like, oh, he's only got this because of this. It's a backfire. If I was black, and somebody was like, here's this because I'd be like, yo, what are you doing? Like, I don't need your charity. I can do it on my own.
Everyone wants the easy way out these days.
It's awful. Like, no, May, are you in Southern California? Is that correct?
Yeah, and by the way, I am an Asian woman, so I'm not white. So I'm speaking, just so you know, that I'm actually Chinese.
Oh, ni hao.
Ni hao.
Yeah, some Chinese. I said that to a Chinese person once. They were like, "Wow, that's terrible."
Everyone says the ni hao is like the hola.
Yeah, but they were like, we used to have on the show. I used to have a Chinese intern, and she was like, "Yeah, just don't try. It's bad." I was like, "All right," but I said it on an earlier episode. Southern California as a state. Gavin useless. Gavin, the invitation's still out there. If you want to come on the show, if you want to debate me, if you want to challenge me to any type of physical combat, I'm more than open. They did the $20 minimum wage for fast food.
I know.
Now everything is closing. Everything is closing.
Mm-hmm.
In-N-Out is closing. Roscoe's Chicken and Waffle is closing. Hooters, I think like a day ago, shut down 40 locations.
Don't they know that?
That's what I'm saying. They're going to their own execution.
It's like they don't care.
It's how dumb are you? You don't get basic economics? I think fast food is crap. I know you have children. Don't take them to McDonald's or Burger King, for God's sakes. But now you can't even afford it if you're a working class person. It used to be the reason why it was so cheap. You got it on the go. Mm-hmm. I want you to do me a favor, May. I want you to go watch this movie from the 90s. I have a feeling we're around the same age. You don't have to say your age. I think you're a little younger than me. But Denzel Washington, Sylvester Stallone, Demolition Man. I think
I've seen it when I was really young, but I don't really remember it.
1993, I want to say. Mm-hmm. It predicted the future. In that movie, Taco Bell is fine dining. Like,
oh, really?
You go on dates to Taco Bell. It's, man. I was joking around with this girl. Like, you said you're Chinese or Chinese descent, and I was like, what is the obsession with white people in Panda Express? I was like, don't they know it's garbage? It's absolutely garbage.
It's like American. It's like Chinese food for white people.
It's serious. White and Mexican, Latino people love it. They absolutely love it. I've never seen an Asian person eating at Panda Express. No.
I think Panda sometimes.
No, don't say that. Oh my God.
I don't think it's terrible. I would rather have that than, those little deli places that have like Chinese food to go.
Oh yeah.
I'd rather get Panda than those places. Those are like oily, fried stuff that looks all gross. At least Panda is more like cleaner.
Well, May, one day you and I, we're going to have to get Peking duck together because I've never had Peking duck. And
It's delicious.
I want to try so bad. So yeah, since you've been such a great supporter of the show, I'll take you for Peking duck. How's that sound?
Okay.
But yeah, May, any last thoughts on evil in society, and then we're gonna wrap it up.
Okay. I went to this music festival, I think like a year ago, and this guy was walking around with a shirt, and in the back it said, "Teach your children to worship Satan."
Awful.
I took a picture of it, but yeah, since when you said that, that popped into my mind. I remember, and I was like, "What the hell? Why is he working on?" I mean, that's just disgusting.
I'm guaranteeing he's a Biden supporter.
Yeah.
For sure. Teach your kids to worship Satan, and they, like I said, they always go for kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look, kids.
They're naive because kids are naive and innocent.
Kids are naive and innocent, and parents typically trust teachers.
Yeah,
And
not anymore. I don't.
and you shouldn't.
No way.
Believe it, I've been in in and out of, like, you know, when work dries up with the entertainment stuff, I teach acting, I teach public speaking, writing, and all this stuff. I've seen some horrible, horrible things in the education industry. And, you know, at the end of the day, like, I like kids. Like, kids like me, you know, I'm tall, I'm funny, whatever. But I'm not trying to hang out with your kid. I'm not trying to, like, you know, I never teach religion. I never teach politics. You know, I don't tell kids to protest. There was a teacher I worked with one time that would give extra credit if the kids would go to protests and take photos.
I've heard that before too.
And I was like, what are you doing? Like, these kids don't even know what side of the bed to piss on. You know what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't be sending them to politically charged protests.
And it can be dangerous too.
It can be dangerous, and they don't want to be there, but maybe they want the 10 extra points or whatever.
Yeah.
Kids should be playing dodgeball and foursquare, and boys should be skinning their knees, and, you know, and playing football or whatever. They don't like that. And I'm not even a father, but I have a lot of young people out there that look up to me, believe it or not. I don't know why. Probably because I always say, learn from my mistakes, you know. You know, but I give advice. You know, don't do drugs. Don't get arrested. You don't want to get arrested on a Friday, son, because you won't get out until Monday morning. You know, stuff like that.
I haven't heard any kind of advice like that for a while.
You haven't been around a real man in a while. That's your problem.
Hey, you know what? Here's the interesting fact. Did you know that back in the days when people were when they had to go to war, the only group of people that didn't have to were people who went into education. Did you know that?
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
Everyone
That's what Bill Clinton did. He was over in Oxford. Yeah.
What does that show you? That's
Cowardice.
You know what I mean? And that, yeah. They don't have. They're hiding because they don't want to fight in the war. So they're just like they all go into this in this, what do you call it? Oh, I can't talk right now. You know what I'm saying, right?
Absolutely, 100%. And actually, I have a question for you. And we're gonna have to do a whole nother episode on this topic, and you're gonna have to, or I'm gonna have to call you. You're gonna have to call in. But real quick for our listeners, I mean, we're almost at an hour now, but it's all right. You said you're from China or Taiwan, okay. The immigration process. Now, you mentioned the military. Now, I'm Irish. I'm from Irish descent. So my family came over here, I think in like the 1920s or something like that. And you had to like go into the military if you were an immigrant. You had to like do something. You had to like show your allegiance to the country. Now I don't know when you came over here, but just real quick, speaking of evil, you see these little girls getting raped and killed by these migrants and illegal aliens and stuff. You had to go through a process, correct?
Well, no, because my dad was an American citizen and he went to Taiwan and married my mom and had me, so I was like born a citizen.
Oh, okay.
In Taiwan because my dad was a citizen.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, but in any shape and form. All right, we'll do this on another episode. I'll bring on an immigrant, a legal immigrant who went through the process. Talk about disgusting. Talk about evil. These migrants raping and killing teenage girls is disgusting, and I think they should be executed. I'm full in favor of killing rapists and pedophiles. I don't call them.
They need to get their penis cut off.
Castrate, fine. No, but I'm more in favor of execution.
I like the penis being cut off. Oh, for the rapists and the pedophiles, they need to have their penis cut off.
That's another acronym. Really, I could talk to you forever, but how pedophile, the word pedophile is now minor attracted person. What in God's name are you doing? They're pedophiles.
The teachers are teaching the kids that too. The teachers are telling them not to call them pedophiles and to call them MAPs, minor attracted persons.
If I see a guy touching a kid, I'm killing him.
And they have their own flag. The pedophiles have their own flag and want to be added to the back of the LGBTQ M. They want to be the M at the end of the alphabet mafia.
These are not human beings. They're monsters. They're demons. Like, they need to be cast into hell. I'm not giving you a name. You're a pedophile.
Did you know that they're also making kid sex dolls?
We talked about it. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
And they're saying that it's because it's better for the pedophiles to have these because if they won't go to children if they have it. It's like, what the hell? Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, no, we'll wrap it up, but the doll is ridiculous because it's just feeding the monster. And if you feed the monster long enough, he's going to want the real thing.
Yeah.
And who are these idiots that get these jobs? They're probably all getting paid like 6 figures, or if not more. All right.
Someone's paying them to say these things.
My blood pressure is spiking. I'm about to have a seizure.
Okay. Well, thanks for including me in this little chat.
No, thank you. I hope the audio and the visual looks good. I'm going to put it out tonight. Tell your friends. If you can, tell your coworkers. I don't know. Protect yourself at all times, May, just like in fighting. But I really appreciate you, and thank you so much for being in the basement.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. Well, that was one. I really like that young lady. I love having her on the show. Hopefully the audio picked up and whatever. But we ran pretty long. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up, put a bow. Check out HGAT Podcast. I'm your boy Deacon Cassidy. You're in the basement, man in the basement. As always, questions, comments, concerns, Deacon Cassidy 00013 at gmail.com. All right, folks, stay tuned. I'll be right back. I ain't going away. I'm going to do a lot this week. All right, peace.